carry on.
What that now brings us to, and I'll pass over to Russell, is the financial impact of that guidance blended, put into the rates.
Thanks very much, Bede, and good morning, Mr Mayor, councillors. So, yeah, where we're looking is summary of where we, I guess, the next couple of slides will just give the detail of some of those guidance that we've seen over the last couple of days and the rating impact in particular that has. So that's setting out the detail. Where do we end? So this is the position that we're sitting as the result of that. So year one, we're sitting at 12.14 overall, 8.9 in year two, 4.7 year three, and 4.3 in year four. So when we look at the separating Te Kaha from the base, we see that the base is sitting at just under 10, 997, 7.2 in year two, and you can read the numbers for the others. But that's the position that we're in as we sit here this morning. Cool. Yeah, I'm happy to take any questions at this point.
No, all good.
It's fine, thank you.
Sorry, Yanni and Tim.
So I guess I'm just getting a bit concerned that by the time we come to do the amendments, we're going to be sort of told that like we've already made. No, they have to be in by tomorrow, but we need time to consider them as well. So I'm just trying to understand how there's a number of things that have been highlighted that haven't been even discussed in terms of guidance, and then there's a whole bunch of stuff that's been discussed without any sort of formal record of the guidance in terms of individuals. So I'm just trying to get an understanding between the difference of the process of giving guidance where we're not voting, there's no record of it, and what's going in versus how we're going to handle the amendments.
So the position has been that the items that we've discussed have been pretty front and centre throughout the last week and a bit.
Correct.
And so we've been going through those items. There's been any additional items would be an amendment. So,
Right.
So we looked at what was consulted on and things coming through the submission process. So those are the items that we've captured and spoken about here over the last number of workshops.
So for example, like the screen grant, is that going to get guidance, or that's just an amendment that we put on? That was quite a number of submissions on that.
So I think through you, Your Worship, I think that is one where if you, back to the comment at the beginning, if it's not in the draft, and we heard yesterday from CNZ, they talked about that they didn't necessarily have the funding. If it's not in the Mayor's Recs, that would be one that you would put up as an amendment and say, because we heard about that in the submissions around the screen grant and the request for that funding, that would come as an amendment for it to go into the draft, into the LTP.
But arguably it had more submissions than like the Shirley Community Centre, for example, and we've had a big discussion about giving guidance around Shirley, but we've had no discussion around the film grant.
So sorry, Jan, I was under the impression that I thought I had heard that we were just going to tell Christchurch NZ, pay it. Get your priorities right and pay that ahead of something else. That's what I had heard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they're giving up, not us.
Well, we have KPIs for them, so it would be us.
This is all crystallised in my head when we got that fantastic report on how much money we give everyone for funding events in the city. It's millions. It's millions. It's not because we pull it apart and say, oh, this fund hasn't got much, that one hasn't. You add them all together, it's a shed load of dough.
So that's noted, and we can then put that in as one to fund that, because that's correct. It was discussed at the submissions, and from the questions came that suggestion that CNZ should be asked to fund it from their existing source.
So
that would be a direction, I think, back to CNZ rather than additional funding into the budget.
Yeah, it's up to them to find.
Would that be a level of service or an activity management change as well?
Through you, Your Worship, it'd probably be through the statement of intent or something like that, I would have thought.
Okay, thank you. Tim?
Yeah, thank you. Just don't need an answer now, but the temporary South Library, the discussion with increased services to mobile and outreach services. It's the second busiest library in the city. I just need a bit more information on that to move forward, because it's saying no funding, reprioritise South Library OPEX, which is fine, but I think we need, or I certainly, and I'm sure Melanie and Sarah, the councillors involved in the area, that we need to know what's planned there. So whether it's through Caroline or whoever, a bit of a heads up there.
Yeah, we can.
Well, yeah. And the second and last one at the moment is with regards to Wheels and Wings, whether not before or after, but if it is decided that, because this is a ball that just keeps bouncing and you know, like to the media it keeps giving, if that is decided not to go ahead, can we use that funding for other cycle lanes that people actually, that community boards or whatever want? Because we've got a few in the south. I know they keep talking in the east about, you know, like those connections. So there are plenty that want cycle lanes at the community. So no, but you're just taking money from one to another. So I'm just asking the question from staff. And look, don't need it now. Come back to us. It's fine. No, just
That's later.
Yep. No, just
No, good.
Yep.
Okay, anyone else? It's Pauline.
The additional subvention money, the 7.36 or whatever it is that taken into account here yet?
No, that's a great question, and through you,
Oh,
Mr.
thank
Mayor,
you.
you know,
Yeah. He only says that.
favouritism now.
He only says that because it doesn't happen very often.
it's a great question because I can answer it. Okay. And the answer, to get back to, is no. So this is outside of that. Yeah,
Okay.
a discussion later on.
Up there.
Great answer. No.
Oh, excellent answer.
Would you like my glasses? Carry on, gentlemen.
Yes.